Get ready for an unforgettable night at the Kershaw Center Legends Gala, celebrating 30 years of service, advocacy, and empowerment of individuals with disabilities. Join us on November the 8th at the Camden City Arena for live music, great food, prizes, and a whole lot of fun. And of course, for a great cause. Tickets are only $65, and each ticket helps support programs that change lives in our community. Get your tickets today at kcbdsn.org, because it's not just a party, it's a purpose in motion.
For more information, contact Zenobia Corley at 803-677-3101.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday evening Loretta Coleman Live. We're glad that you are here to be a part of us, and we want to thank you, as always, those of you who join us on our various platforms: Loretta Coleman Facebook page, Loretta Coleman Ministries Facebook page, the original Loretta Coleman Ministries Facebook page, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. We say thank you so very much. We also want to say thank you to those who always come back and watch the replay. As always, if you have any questions or you need to know anything about something that you have seen or heard here on our Loretta Coleman Live, you're welcome to send me a question through my inbox on Facebook, and we'll be more than happy to try and get the answer to you. Now, tonight we have someone that has been on with us many, many times, and he's escaped me for a while. For a while, he has escaped me, and but he's here tonight, and everybody know him. You can't help but know him. And you know him by his profession. You also know him because he'll get you told every now and then. But he is one of the greatest entrepreneurs that I have met. And I am really, really happy to have Dr. Lewis Burns on with us on tonight. And we say hello to him. And what a way for him to interview, laying up in his bed.
I'm not laying. I'm sitting. I'm actually sitting
yeah. In his bed.
Yeah. I think I got a little jet lag, Loretta. I went to Houston Friday night and came back Sunday afternoon, and I haven't recovered from that as of yet, but I'm glad to be on the show.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you here. We got a lot that we need to catch up on, and a lot that I've been seeing God bless you to continue on and to continue on and to continue on. And it gives all of us hope that we don't have to quit when we have setbacks, but that's just more determination for us to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So I want you to tell us, before we get deep in our conversations, just tell us a little bit about the Dr. Lewis Burns.
Sure. Originally from Columbia, South Carolina. Proud graduate of Eau Claire High School. Proud graduate of the University of South Carolina. 58-year-old father of 6. Love my community. I am Columbia. 58, and I've been in Columbia probably 53 of my 58 years. And so love my town, love my people. That's been in business now, Loretta, 29 and a half years. Being a Black entrepreneur business owner in Columbia, South Carolina for 29 and a half years, almost 30 years. So I'm excited. I'm an everyday person. Loretta, tell you, I give you who I am. I make no bones about who I am. And, just excited to be on your show.
Well, everybody wouldn't be able to take the Dr. Lewis Burns. You got to look beyond what he says, and you got to listen to what he says. See, there's a difference between looking at what a person says and listening at what a person say. when you listen at what a person say, you can feel their heart and you can feel their sincerity. And we don't have a lot of people these days that want to do that. We want to make assumptions about people without really taking time to get to know them.
I agree. Loretta, what gets me is my passion, and my compassion for people. I just want the best for everybody. God has done a lot for all of us, and I'm no special. And if he can take a wretch like me and do the things that he's done for me, a sinner like me, I just want everybody to win. That's all I want.
I want to ask you something. Now, we all know that he is a CEO of Lord help my mind. Dr. Louis Burns. What's the name? Start with a C. I'm on the right track.
My company is Consolidated Planning of America.
Yeah,
Consolidated Planning of America. We call it CPA for short.
Yes. Now, which that deals with insurance.
Yes,
now,
ma'am.
When we start talking about insurance, a lot of people don't want to hear it. Even people that don't have any insurance, people don't have insurance and don't want to hear about insurance. And that's what I can't understand. I really can't understand. You want to leave your family in such an uproar that you're like, well, I'm dead. I leave them to deal with it. That's a poor attitude to have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen people, Loretta, that their daddy was a saint until the day he died. And he died without letting them know that he didn't have any insurance. And this lady had to go into her 401k and take out $16,000 to bury him. And she didn't call him a saint anymore. So it's amazing to me. And, I don't want to talk about that. I have people say they might die if they talk about insurance. I tell them you're going to die anyway. And I'm not being morbid. It's just, Loretta, it's part of the deal. We're born, we live, and we die. I don't want to die, and I know you don't want to die. I know you have a zest for life, but unfortunately or fortunately, and now most folks on this show, I know you don't have to be, but most of us are Christians, right? And to be absence of the body is to be what?
Present with the Lord.
Amen. It is what it is.
Let me ask you this, and I want all of you tonight to feel free to tune in. I know you didn't expect this type of show, but it's the truth. White folks pull their family together at a certain age, and they let them know this is what we got in insurance policies. This is what's going to go to you, Sue. This is what's going to go to you, Billy. Why are we scared to talk so much about? Why are we so scared to talk so much about that? Because let me tell you what happened when you don't sit down and talk to your children. If you have more than one child, it's going to be a conflict somewhere. Somebody going to be fighting over the money. Somebody going to say, Mama wanted me in charge. Somebody going to say, Daddy wanted me in charge. Why is it so hard for us to come together, get those things settled now, so that you won't have to deal with that during that time?
Well, one problem is, I hate to use the word taboo. We unfortunately, this is what I hear a lot. Can't speak for everybody. Well, my granddaddy didn't leave my daddy anything. And my daddy didn't leave me anything. And you know what, Loretta? I ain't leaving mine anything. So unfortunately, it's not something that they want to discuss. Okay. Now here's a challenge we're running into, Loretta. We're thinking our parents have insurance, and we're being unpleasantly surprised to find out there is no insurance policy. Mama let the policy lapse. Daddy couldn't afford the premiums. And sometimes, Loretta, they had to choose medicine or food over the insurance premium. It's very sad. And I see it. we get probably a few calls a year from people asking us, please tell me my daddy bought some life insurance. Please tell me, I found your business card. Please let us know that they bought some insurance. And unfortunately, we have to tell them no. It's an epidemic. But, Loretta, it's going to take people like you and Don and what's my lady's name that comes on in the evening time?
PA.
Yep.
PA.
Yep, PA. And letting people know is not the right thing to do. Now, Loretta, I these GoFundMe's don't work. You know that, right?
No, I'm going to tell you about that in a few minutes, but let me read what Betty said. Betty Williams said, I've already done that with my boys, and it wasn't hard at all. She said she's already done that. And, but Dr. Burns, I personally know some people. Well, I personally know some people that I haven't spoken to their other siblings since mom and daddy died, because they thought they were supposed to get the house, and they thought that they were supposed to be over the insurance policy. And it's just like the whole family just done and broke up. And to alleviate that, we should pull them together. But now on the flip side of that, you brought up the GoFundMe.
Yes, ma'am.
I cannot think of the guy's name. And maybe I shouldn't, not at this point, to call him out. But he was on Facebook, and he was a drummer for just about every church in Columbia.
Oh,
but
yeah.
For the last 2 or 3 years, he got his legs amputated, and he was unable to play.
Yeah.
So, but now he would be on Facebook talking about he'd be having his birthday party and this and that.
All kind of parties. Yeah.
But when he died, he didn't have no insurance, and they set up a GoFundMe page for him. I don't think they raised $50.
They didn't raise much at all. And I didn't know him personally, but on Facebook, he seemed like a good guy. He always had parties at his house. He was very friendly. Even like if you didn't even know him, he would give you his address to come on over and fellowship, and didn't raise hardly a dime. And listen, they said he played at hundreds of different events and churches and stuff like that. Hundreds.
And that bothered me. Now, yes, he could have taken care of his own insurance.
Yeah.
But the point is, he didn't. Can you not remember anything this guy did? Can you not? But that's how you just another black folk gone in their eyesight.
Yeah. Now, I thought, Loretta, you and I thought the same exact thing. This guy had been I'm not blaming the churches. He had entertained probably tens of thousands of people. And they didn't think enough of him to say, here's $100. Let me help. Unfortunately, like I said, if you are depending upon GoFundMe or your parents are depending upon GoFundMe, like I said, Dolores, here's another phenomenon that's going on. The parents are canceling the policies and cashing them in. They're cashing them in. I've had some personal family members that I wrote policies, and they call me up and say, you know what? I'm tired of paying this insurance premium. I'm going to cancel it. And they're in their late 70s.
Now, I did know somebody who did that, but they canceled the insurance, but they took the money and put it in a CD.
Yep.
And when they died, they had that money. That money was there to pay for their funeral. They didn't take that money out and party with it and buy new furniture and buy new cars. They just said it was too much because it had went up like $700-800 a month. So, so they just took it out and put it in there. But let me read to you what Beverly said. Sure. You're absolutely right, sis. And it's a hard reality. When this happens, I never thought it would happen to me and my sisters, but it did. It's disappointing, but it is what it is. We just don't know. We don't know what our parents have. And we need to, that's why we need to be there. And when they get a certain age, they may not remember everything to do. And you have some dishonest insurance agents that will take advantage of them and have them signing a bunch of stuff. That's where you as the child need to step in and make sure that what mom and daddy signing is good stuff. And then another thing, not just mom and daddy, but if you got that son or that daughter who's in trouble every weekend, you need to get them. So you need to get a policy on them.
Oh, absolutely. You know what?
Every
Let me tell you what
weekend. Now
somebody did.
you know, huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You go ahead. Every weekend,
You're
right?
not
Go ahead.
saying that you're not wanting your child to get killed and stuff like that. You're
Oh
not
no.
wanting anything to happen to them. But every weekend they getting in some fight. They getting in some trouble. Somebody's shooting at them. Listen, be on the safe side and have you some insurance on them so you won't have to come out of your pocket. This is real talk tonight. This is talk that all of us need to hear. And all of us, and this is the man right here. And you know, he's very knowledgeable. He can answer your questions. He's not no thief. He ain't trying to sell our insurance policy to meet a quota. God has blessed him. He's going to be honest with you. He's going to tell you what you need. And I think he's licensed in every state in the state.
Not every state, multiple, a lot of states.
Yeah.
A lot of states don't require that I be licensed because I am a manager. But we have agents throughout the country. You know, Loretta, the other phenomenon that's going on right now too, you know, and I'm just going to keep it real with you. Our Caucasian brothers and sisters are coming into black homes and getting this 75 and 80-year-old person to cash in their policy and start over on a new policy. And they're telling people you can use this cash value to repair your home, you know, do whatever, but they're not explaining to these people, Loretta, that when you do that and you start a new policy, that 2-year contestability that's on every policy, it starts over. So real quick example, I had a lady had a policy 10 years. They came in and said, hey, you can get money off your policy and cash it in and start this new policy. He had like $5,000 or $10,000 and she needed some repairs on her house. But if that lady had died 6 months later, her family could have 50-50 chance that her family would have only gotten back the premiums that she had contributed to the policy. And that is too dangerous for late 70s, 87-year-old people to be doing that. And, you know, I'm quite sure I've had a couple of times with our Caucasian brothers and sisters, but I'm quite sure our black brothers and sisters. So, guys, you want to have a conversation with your mom and dad and tell them under no circumstances do they cancel a policy without talking to you first.
And don't sign any papers.
Don't sign nothing until you see it. You know, I tell my agents I have no problem with you sitting down with, you know, especially if, like you said, if the person is up in age a little bit, okay, and maybe they don't understand everything, okay. Now, what we don't do at our agency, it is a no to replace a policy that's over 2 years old. It's a no. All right, you're going to have to give me a very compelling reason to replace that policy. Now, here's another thing. Now, the insurance companies love to let us borrow. You know, that's off those policies. Their thought process is this: if I borrow too much off the policy, it's gonna cancel. And if it cancels, guess what? They don't have to pay the death claim. So you want to be very careful with that, guys. Very careful. I know your intentions are good. Oh, I'm going to pay that money back. How are you going to pay back $10,000? Okay.
Let me see what she's gonna say before I ask you this. Are they insurance available for 80-year-old person?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, point blank, I got 8 to 10 insurance companies that will cover an 80-year-old. I actually have one insurance company that will cover up to a 90-year-old. So to answer your question is yes.
Now,
and if even
80,
at 80 with any medical condition. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, even with them being 80, when they get 90, they're not gonna cut off their benefits.
No. 90 is the max that you can start the policy. The policy goes lifetime. Okay. So there won't, you know, now let's go back to what you said earlier. This is important. there are a lot of these policies, especially term policies, that when you start getting up in age, premiums start going crazy. Like you said, that person policy had gotten up to $700 or $800 a month. That had to be a term policy, Loretta.
It was.
Yep. Premiums are inexpensive in the first years. And then when we start getting of age, they go crazy. And most of us can't afford it. And insurance companies know that. And they know we're going to put the policy in the trash. Yep.
Let me ask you a question I think is very important at this part in time. You got all these people that's being furloughed from these jobs. Some of them being on their jobs for 30, 35 years. What's going to happen to their insurance?
Well, if they got insurance on the job, if they're furloughed too long, they're going to have to pay for that insurance out of pocket. Because once again, a lot of our insurance, I'm going to talk about on the job and off the job, a lot of our insurance are deducted out of our paycheck. And so if we're not getting a paycheck, that insurance has to be paid. Now, some of the carriers, not a lot, just a few, are waiving some of the premiums. Now, in my humble opinion, I think it would be a good thing to, even if they get their SNAP benefits cut, I'm going to propose to some of my insurance carriers that why don't y'all give them a 30 to 60 day waiver of premiums? You understand that if I got to choose between insurance premium and food, I might have to choose food, Loretta. Because if I don't eat, I die. Right?
Right.
I'm not here. So I'm actually writing an email tonight to one of my main carriers and saying, if these folks can prove that they are no longer receiving their SNAP benefits, can we not give them a reprieve of the insurance premium? Let's say November and December's premium, 60 days, and then start it back up in January. That's what I'm going to propose tonight.
That's absolutely wonderful, because people are suffering right now. But would it be beneficial to people, say they weren't on the job for 30 years, say they only been on the job for 20 years, would it be beneficial for them to get a private insurance?
Oh, let me say this to you. It's always beneficial. I'm glad you brought that up, to have your own private insurance, whether you've been on the job for 1 year. Loretta, I don't know about you, but I've had several jobs over my career. And I know you've had a couple. Okay. You're long term. But I mean, we had insurance on that job. But what happens when we leave that job? Most times than not, the insurance stays at that job. And then we get older, we get less healthier. I tell my own personal story that in January of 2014, I was on no medication. And by February 2014, I was on 4 different medications. And when you get on that many medications, your insurability change. So I encourage people to have their own personal policy. Now let's talk about state employees, nothing negative. At age 75, if you're a retiree and you have the voluntary state plan, life insurance, it cancels altogether. It cancels. At age 70, there's a reduction, or age 65, there might be a reduction. Age 70, there's a reduction. And at age 75, it goes away completely. Okay. So they're not covering you. Okay.
So what happens to all that money they paid all those years?
It's gone. It's term insurance. It's just like car insurance, Loretta. It's just like homeowners insurance. It's just like health insurance. I'm not bragging about this. This is actually embarrassing. Loretta, my health insurance is $3,100 a month for me and my family. That's $37,000 a year. I don't use we don't use $37,000 worth of benefits, but I don't get no refund back. I don't get no reduction. Next year, it's probably going to go up. There's some good comments, Loretta. I can't see them all.
Tracy said, she's from New York. She said, this is good for people to understand about. When my son Leo died, he had 30,000 income, let me see, 30,000
Maybe
insurance
insurance.
to bury him. All 9 kids of mine is so important to have.
Yeah. It's Loretta. The cost of burying people, we're seeing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000.
Not for me.
I understand.
Not for me, because you cremate me. I told my son to cremate me. I'm gonna be with Jesus. Don't spend all that money for them to ride around in Cadillacs on me.
Yep. And Loretta, I had a lady I talked to. This was 10 or 15 years ago. She spent over $30,000 down in St. Matthews. And I looked at her when she said that to me. And she said, Mr. Burns, I know that was too much, but she said I was in so much pain that my daughter had been murdered.
But you see,
we can't stand
this is what we're talking about. That's why it's important to have these things, because see, when you're going through losing a child, a mother, a sister, a brother, you don't think right.
Nope.
You don't think right.
Nope. And you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
And sometimes the funeral home people take advantage of that.
Not all of them, but they are. I know you said so, but they are a business, Loretta. They're a business. When we go to the car dealerships, they're a business.
But I don't get that. I know it's a business. I know
it's a business. I'm not agreeing with the Loretta. Trust me, I'm not agreeing.
You're playing on that person's emotion, and you're playing on your mama would have wanted this, or your daddy would have wanted. Listen,
and I want to say you didn't know my mama and you didn't know my daddy, right?
And because we're not thinking right, we feed in to what they're saying, and we overspend, and we spend the whole insurance policy on a funeral for what?
Right. That's a good point. And we see it all the time. We hear about the people that don't have insurance, right? We hear about the GoFundMe's, and we hear about collecting the money and raising the plate. We never hear about the person that spends $48,000 on the funeral, $1,000 on the casket. We never hear about that.
Listen, y'all, this is a good topic. It's an educational topic. It's a topic. We got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming, when family is going to be around. These are topics that need to be discussed. When we have knowledge, we have power. When we don't have knowledge, we don't have anything. And there is nothing wrong with sitting down talking. My son don't like for me to talk about it, but see, I know he's my only child, so I know he's not going to be thinking about it. And I said, Moshe, don't give all this money to the funeral home. You spend this amount, and then you have a little bit to put in your pocket.
Amen. My dad and my brother. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Try to get you to do this, and they're gonna try to get you to do that, and because you're not thinking right, and
you're out of your mind. Remember that we need to coin that. You're out of your mind. My mother died. I was out of my mind. Okay, remember that. So yeah, you're right, Loretta. My dad and my brother and I, we've sat down and we've talked about this. He has a new wife as of 11 years ago. And we've discussed this. We've had that conversation. So it's a tough conversation, Loretta, but it's a conversation we must have.
Yes. Miss Martin said, will you tell the difference between term and whole life?
Yes, ma'am. Great question, Miss Martin. So no insurance is bad. The way that a term policy works is that it's really a temporary policy. A term premiums are going to stay the same for a number of years, could be 10, 15, 20, up to 30 years. After that period of time, the premiums will change Sometimes the policy will end. Sometimes the policy will reduce. Those type of things with term insurance. There are changes that's going to happen. So I always advise people, Loretta, when they're young and they have family and they have mortgages and college education and income replacement, you should have a good term policy. Okay. Now, as we get older, those children, you said your son Moshe and my children, Lewis and Mike, they become of age and our responsibilities, maybe our house is now paid off. Our responsibilities have changed. You want a good, solid whole life policy that nothing can change on the policy, Loretta. Nothing. All right. As long as I'm not bragging. I pay too much, but I probably have 4 whole life policies. Okay. That I've taken out over the years. Those policy premiums will be the same for my lifetime. Now, one other benefit that you have with whole life is, let's say 20 years down the road, if God still has me here and I don't want to continue to pay those premiums, I don't have to cash them in. What I can do, Loretta, there's something called paid up insurance. I can take the cash value in those policies, leave it in there, and get the paid up policy, and I can stop paying premiums on those policies.
Now that's the whole life.
That's the whole life. There's nothing like that with term. Term is I want you to equate, Ms. Barbara, I want you to equate term and car insurance together. With car insurance, Loretta, you still drive like I still drive, right? You know, we pay that. We pay that as long as that car is on the road, or your buddy Leon Lott will be knocking on our window, asking us to get out the car. So that's how term insurance works. There is no paid up. There is no, I don't want to pay this anymore. I want to take the paid up policy. Term premiums are either going to end or they're going to continue a lifetime. And then normally, if they continue a lifetime, they're absolutely going up. Dolores, I keep wanting to call you Dolores, Loretta. I got Dolores. I don't know if you know Dolores Rush. She's on my mind.
I do.
You do? She's a great lady. And we're busy. When we hang up tonight, I'm gonna text her and tell her I would call her name. But with that term policy, it's just, let me tell you what I told someone today. And I offer term insurance. Don't sell a lot of it. It's not built to pay. It will pay. I want you to think about something. You see this on TV. You can get $1 million worth of coverage for $41 a month, $50 a month. I see it on TV all the time. So let's say those are usually young people, but let's say I'm 40 years old. So I'm paying $50 a month for $1 million, and I pay that for 30 years. I'm just going to do some Eau Claire High School math. So 50 times 12 is $600. Times 30 years is $18,000. Loretta, if they thought they had to pay $1 million, how could they only charge me $18,000? What do young people say? The math ain't what?
The math ain't right.
Math ain't mathin'. It's what they say to young people.
The math ain't math.
I got them, I got them young people. I got 6 children. I got young people.
Okay.
Yeah, so the math ain't mathin'. So they don't think they have to pay, Loretta. That's why they can charge a premium. That's term insurance. Whole life is going to be more expensive because they expect to have to pay that death claim. So that's a huge difference between term and whole life. And I don't like universal life. The index universal life, you hear IULs, you're hearing that latest fad. I don't like that. I just saw an article where there's a guy. Do you like NASCAR, Loretta?
Do I like what?
NASCAR.
No.
Car racing. Okay.
No.
My daddy watched it when I was a kid, right? So there's a guy named Kyle Busch, real popular NASCAR racer. Okay. One of my Caucasian friends. He and his wife just lost $8 million messing around with IUL policies. That's index universal life policies. $8 million. Okay. They're suing everybody. You imagine losing $8 million of your money? I don't care how rich you are. So I do not like index universal life policies. Okay. I don't like universal life policies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like flexible premium policies, adjustable policies. Those policies are dangerous, Loretta. They're dangerous. They need to be taken off the market, especially after I just read this article about this guy losing $8 million. Okay. So,
Zenobia said pre-need is a great alternative. Would you not agree?
no. Couple reasons why. At pre-need, you pay full retail price. The second issue you get into is pre-need is expensive, Loretta. Those policies, let me share something with you that folks don't know about pre-need. So if I take a 10-year pre-need policy, let's say I take a 10-year pre-need policy for $15,000. Do you know that they're going to charge me $30,000 in premiums over that 10 years? So no, I do not like pre-need. Okay. Is the second thing. The third thing, we think funeral homes don't go out of business, right? We think that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah.
We've had some prominent funeral homes. We've had some friends of ours that have gotten caught up with financial shenanigans. Me and Loretta have. We won't call no names. Okay. So you've given these people their money, and 10 years from now, they're out of business because somebody is taking money out of the account. So no, I don't like pre-need. I think somebody's speaking to you.
I think they were speaking to somebody else.
Okay.
But tell us the different policies that you have to offer, or what will it take for somebody to get in touch with you and have someone to call and explain?
Sure.
Now I'm gonna tell y'all, I don't recommend people just to recommend people. That's not me. And that's one of the things that people don't like about me, because I don't just say it because the crowd say it. I have to experience it myself, and he is an honest person. And
can I tell you why? May I tell you why I'm honest?
Why?
My daddy told me, boy, one thing you better not do is ruin my name.
Oh, okay.
You heard that before, right?
Yes.
My daddy's still alive. All right.
Yeah.
And my daddy's name is Lewis Burns. He said, don't have me go nowhere and somebody say your son did this and a third. I take that literally. But yeah, I'm gonna give my number out, and I'll 80. This is my personal cell phone number. 803 518 1083. 803 518 1083. But I'm like Loretta. I'm on Facebook. And if you send me a message on Facebook, Loretta will tell you. It might be 2:00 in the morning, but I will answer your message. I'll answer. Okay. If you send me a text, I'll answer. I can't answer every phone call, Loretta, because I travel a lot. You know, I was on a plane for 6 hours this weekend. Okay. Nothing I can do when I'm on a plane. Okay. But if you send me a message or a text or hit me up on Facebook, I'm full disclosure. And here's what you can do. If I don't do you right, get back on this message here. Let Loretta know. She'll jack me up, and she'll which I'm gonna do. Right.
I'll jack him up. Yeah. I'll jack him up.
She likes doing that. She likes doing that.
But I put his name and I put his name and phone number in the comment box for anybody that may want to talk to him. Now, you may not get to talk to him, maybe one of his sons. But when you talk to one of his sons, that's just like talking to him. When you talk to one of his sons,
I'm very strict. Yeah, I'm very. Yeah. Let me tell you something. If I get a complaint on my son, I'm on him. Man, listen, you ain't ruining my name now. I'm like my daddy. You ain't ruining my name. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know we're Loretta. This is important. We are a locally owned Black business that have been in business for 29 and a half years. All right. So let's see this here. Ask a friend if they had life insurance. Annuities are a form of life insurance. The answer to your question is yes. So if you have an insurance license, you can sell annuities.
What is that?
Basically, Loretta, it's like a insurance company savings account. So let's say you came into $15,000, which we know that's going to happen. Me and you've talked about that. You came into $15,000 and you wanted to set it aside. You didn't like the interest rate at the bank. You didn't like the CD rate. An annuity looks like a savings account or a CD that you would have at a bank. They will offer sometimes a little bit higher interest rates. Okay. You have some growth and appreciation. It works almost like a CD or savings account. Most of us, we don't have $15,000, $20,000 to put into an annuity. We just don't. I don't know about you, Loretta. I don't have that just sitting around in my checking account. Okay. So the life insurance allows us to, she's laughing because she think I'm rich as all get out. But the life insurance allows us, I got 6 kids, Loretta, don't forget about that. And they all dependent upon me. The life insurance allows us to make monthly payments that are reasonable for our budget. Now, here's the other problem you get into. Now, with annuity, you can make payments as well. But the problem is if you died while you're making those payments, you only get what's in the account. Okay. I'll give you a prime example, Loretta. My grandmother, Ms. Wilhelmina Burns, she died in 1999. She took a policy out February of 1999, premiums about $100 a month. She died in August of 99 after only paying 6 months. The insurance company did a quick investigation and they paid Tony over at Manigault Hurley. They sent him a check to cover her $10,000 funeral after only paying $600 in premiums. You can't do that with an annuity. If I had set her up on an annuity, they just would have returned the $600 plus a small amount of interest. So life insurance allow us to leverage. Okay. I just found out that one of the guys that I grew up with in my neighborhood played basketball, played football. Someone just put on Facebook. He was I won't mention his name. He was a class of 84. He died. Well, if he just started an annuity plan last month, and he was only, Loretta, I'm 58. He's only 59 years old. If he had started an annuity plan last month, he would have $100 in there. If he had started a life insurance plan, he might have had $20,000 that would be coming to his family. Huge difference. Huge difference.
So it's for anybody that's out there now, even though they may have, you have a lot of people with $10,000 policies, but if they wanted to get a little extra, could they contact you to get a little extra?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have policies that start, you can get for as little as $1,000 face amount, not cost. If I would only add $1,000. People are not beating anybody up. You only can get what you can afford. But people are not keeping up with inflation. So they got a $10,000 policy 10 years ago. Well, 10 years ago, $10,000 was what? $10,000. 10 years later, because of inflation, it's $5,000. All right. You got to keep up with inflation. And it's not just about burial, Loretta. It's just not about getting the funeral home money. I don't know if you heard me tell the story before, but Master P's grandfather left him a $10,000 policy that had nothing to do with his burial. He took that $10,000 policy and started his record label. It's worth $250 million now. Okay. So you can have one thing I want to let everybody know, and I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm okay. As Loretta knows, you can have as many policies as you want.
That's how white folks get ahead.
Exactly. They believe in life insurance. And listen, they be calling the calling the life insurance the day the person died. Well, know how quick they can be paid. I don't like that, but they do that. They do that.
This ain't got nothing to do with what we're talking
Yes, ma'am.
about, but let me answer this question. There's nobody at Pastor Jones Church now, Patrick. It has been demolished, so there's no longer a new thing, Empowerment Center. And if you have any other questions, you can inbox me there. But is it? Let me ask you something.
Yep.
Do you have to tell when you have somebody in your family that passes and you go meet with the funeral home people? Do you have to give them your policy?
Absolutely not. We tell you not to.
Because they jack your prices up.
I can't say that because I got so many funeral home friends of mine, and they probably listen to your show. You say what you want to say, but they're businesses, Loretta. I can dress it up a little bit, okay? They are business owners, and they do a lot for the community and eat a lot of costs. And sometimes, as you know, they have to charge a little bit more because they just did a funeral for $4,000 and lost their shirt on it. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what happened. I won't name the funeral home here in Columbia. So this girl mom died. I knew her mom, know her. And she went to the funeral home and told them that I only have, this was years ago, I only have $10,000. That's it. That's the policy she had on herself. Y'all got to make it work. So the day before the funeral, you know how you go down and sit with the man and go over the numbers and make sure everything. So it ended up being $14,000. Mm-hmm. So she said, sir, I told you I had no money. And the only policy he had was $10,000. You're going to have to make it work. He said, ma'am, if you don't have $4,000 in my account by 4:30 this afternoon, we ain't having no funeral tomorrow. That's a true story. So you can't think that they're going to make it work. So what she had to do was contact her mother's brother. She went screaming out the funeral home, and he had to wire $4,000 to the funeral home.
Well, she didn't sign a contract for $10,000.
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. She had, the body was delivered to the funeral home of choice. Okay. She told them up front what the policy was. She probably even brought the policy in. They don't have to go off that policy, Loretta. Now they have to go off a contract. But once again, you don't sign a contract until after they get the body and after everything is done. That's when you sign that contract. So they didn't change the contract. There was no contract. So when my mother died, Bostic Tompkins came to pick up the body. And then days later, after we grieved, we went and met with Bostic and Tompkins. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. They already had her and they had already embalmed her. And it would have cost us $2,000 to $3,000 if we wanted to move her to another funeral home. Okay. So, guys, I'm just telling you, if you have a small policy, and Loretta, the costs of funerals are going up between 5 to 7% a year. Okay. The average funeral, including the dirt, including the burial, is over $12,000 to $15,000. And they're not taking 10, Loretta. They're not taking 10. I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm not agreeing with it. Now, make sure you understand. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just giving you facts.
Yeah. Dixie said that happened in what you was talking about happened in Indiana as well.
Yeah, it happened right here in Columbia, downtown. I'm not going to mention the funeral home, downtown. Okay. So, these guys got costs. They got overhead. They got salaries. They got expenditures. I'm not feeling sorry for them. All right. But they're running a business. The old days of a handshake and putting you on payment plans, Loretta, that ain't happening, Captain. Mm-hmm. It ain't happening. So, one other story I want to give. I know we don't have much time. Y'all be careful who you name as your beneficiary. I've seen 2 personal situations, Loretta, where the beneficiary says, only policy available, we're not using this policy to pay for that funeral.
I've experienced that, not with my family, but with people friends, I try to help in the community. Yeah. And they had a big insurance problem. They said, we're not using this one.
We're not using this one.
Yeah.
I hope you got another one.
Yes.
Had a situation recently. A young man got murdered, named his girlfriend as a beneficiary. Girlfriend says, I'm not paying for that boy's funeral. I didn't even like him that much. This is my money. Okay. Had another situation where, which I'm now an old man. Old man leaves his wife to go with the young girl. He had cash in the bank to pay for his funeral, but he named the young girl as a POA, paid on death, POD.
Mm-hmm.
That young girl took all that money out except for $1 and called his wife and says, you better bury your husband because I ain't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all be careful.
I know that happened to a popular gospel singer that everybody on this thing here knows.
Mm-hmm. Y'all
And
be careful.
That girlfriend took all the money. I mean,
Yep.
all the money. And they had to raise money to get him from where he was, where she was.
Mm-hmm.
Where
So y'all be very careful. Okay.
Yeah.
Do not name your family member that's a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
Loretta, I've seen that.
Mm-hmm.
That on the policy is a known drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're your daughter or son don't mean
Mm-hmm.
that you have to name it. Well, that's the only one I got. Name somebody else. You can name a nonprofit organization. You can name Loretta Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have to be a live person on your insurance policy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not suggesting that. And of course, Loretta's never told me to say anything like that. But you don't have to name the person in your family who you know is not going to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not required to do that. Okay.
It's amazing that we're having this conversation because I just told somebody last week, I deal with seniors.
Yes, ma'am.
And they have the one child, and the child won't even come to see them, won't even make sure that they got grocery and all the stuff. But they ask questions about the insurance policy.
Yep.
And I said, I would change mine.
I would too.
Yeah, I would.
You
donate
wouldn't
it
get a
to
dime from me,
some
Loretta. You wouldn't
organization,
get a
a
dime. There you
church,
go.
or something.
Yep.
Because if they ain't treating you right while you're alive, when you gone, you're gonna get buried the best way you can.
There you go. And like I said, they're not required to bury you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I named him the beneficiary. He got to bury me. She got to bury me. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, sir. Okay. And people act a fool when money, Loretta, we both know people act a fool when it comes to a few dollars. I've seen it in my family. Yep. I know you probably seen some things in your family. It's shocking when you see it. I told my daddy, I said, look here, man. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I had an uncle who passed
away. You go ahead.
What's
your story?
I had an uncle that passed away, and he had left somebody in charge, and he said, I want all my siblings to get this amount, to do all that. And he trusted them. And they didn't give the siblings nothing. They kept all the money
that
for
happens
themselves.
more times than what you think. Yep. That's happened in my family as well. Okay. Didn't get a dime. People act a fool. And it just shocks me. Okay. So what you want to do, like you said, you want to come together and have that sit down. And don't wait till they get sick.
Don't wait till they get sick, because it can be contested.
Exactly.
It can be contested.
There was a nut, one of our Caucasian brothers down in Aiken, taking advantage of elderly folks, and had millions of dollars that he had taken from this lady. They put him in jail. They figured out that he was doing elderly abuse. They locked him up for 6 years. They should lock him up for 60 years. And he wasn't even able to steal the money, Loretta. They shut it down. Like you said, they contested it before it even got probated.
Yeah, this has been a very good and a very educational show, and I'll put your number up there again.
Thank you.
Up on the screen for those of you who can see. It's right up here, right underneath my name. so you can write it down and you can give him a call and he'll have someone to call you back, because in days like this, we need to deal with people that we know are honest, and people that know me know I don't deal with I don't deal with no shade treaty people. I do not deal with no trade treaty people. I don't care how much they say they my friends or nothing. If I know you're doing shade tree business, I'm not gonna recommend your business. But I can
Amen.
recommend Dr. Burns. He got a good thing going, and he's gonna be honest with you. And by the way, they are hiring. If you know somebody that need a part-time, can be part-time, it don't have to be full-time, to bring some extra money in. They'll be at the State Museum on this coming Saturday. And I put the flyer on my page when I get off. And if you know somebody, might need some pocket change with everything that's going on, I can't do it.
Right.
I can't do it. If
and
I could do it, as good as I love money, I could do it. But
well, and Loretta, we got Christmas right here too. Christmas.
Well,
no, I'm saying if people need extra money, for Christmas, to buy gifts and Loretta, most of my agents are Black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're a Black-owned business, 100%. Loretta, I got 30-year-olds that are making $20,000 a month in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm wondering, where are people paying Black people that kind of money?
That's a lot of money. I ain't made that money, but I ain't never made that much money.
A month? Yeah. And I love it. They don't have any college degrees, Loretta. They're just hardworking people. They go out here and help these seniors. And, like I said, if it's something that either you or a family member, you're looking at, adding income. I have people tell me all the time, well, I can't sell. Fine. We can teach you how to do that. Okay. So yeah, you can give me a call or a text, or hit me up on Facebook.
If you would have we did know each other 10 years ago, but not on this level. But
not like
10
this.
years ago, before I would have got really, really challenged with the people that I knew, I'd have been in a great place right now.
Yeah.
I'd have been in a great place.
And I got, you and I have talked about it. I'm so comfortable with this, not, because you're already a fan. It's not like, well, here's what some people do. Well, I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to share it with nobody else either. You understand? So you share. You tell people, hey, I can't do it, but maybe you can, or maybe somebody you can.
If you got a big family, you got 5 people in your family.
Oh yeah,
that's about $1,500 a month extra.
Yep.
And
so
you ain't got to go nowhere but sit home and tell them to come by the house. I want to talk to you about something.
Absolutely. And the other thing too, Loretta, you can run this like an employment agency. And what I mean by that is that I can hire agents to go out on behalf of my agency. As you know, just like you said, hey, if he doesn't call you back, one of his sons or one of his agents will call you back. Okay. So you can run it like, I was talking to my cousin today, one of my favorite cousins, and we were talking about running an employment agency.
Well, maybe I can help you with that now.
Yeah, that might be something. You don't have to sell yourself. You can just be a referral source.
Yeah. Oh, I can refer you. I can get you people and refer. And because like I said, people know I don't care. I could have just about anything I wanted if I was a butt kisser.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I hope that didn't sound bad.
No, it didn't.
If I was a person who really, really kissed butt, I could have anything I wanted.
Yeah. Yep.
But because
a lot of people do that.
My own mind, you just can't sell me anything. You just can't.
Yes, ma'am.
But I do believe in this man right here, and I want everybody, if you need extra insurance, if you don't have no insurance, if you got this child that's running buck wild out there. Call them. It don't make no difference where you at.
Nope.
If you in New York, you in Chicago, he got somebody out there that can come
Yep.
to you. It doesn't matter where you at.
That's true.
And you know you're dealing
And
with
believe
an
it or not,
honest
Loretta,
person.
I'm licensed in New York. Can you believe that?
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm licensed in New York.
That's all right. That's all right. You know what? You need to fix me up a flyer that say that, because I got plenty of family in New York.
Okay.
Plenty
I
of
will.
family in New York.
Okay.
Yeah. You
I
know.
definitely can. I'll send you a flyer with all the states that we
Okay,
do
do
business
that.
in. Yes,
Do
ma'am.
that. Well, we
Well,
want to thank you so
yeah, it's
very
been an
much.
hour. It's been an hour.
Yeah, it's been an hour, and it's been a good,
Oh my
informative,
God.
educational hour. Cause
It went
these
by
are
so
things,
fast, Loretta. It went by
yeah,
so fast.
yeah. Now I'm gonna go get me a hot pocket and eat it, and a cup of coffee, and I'm going to bed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. Well, I appreciate you. And
No
I love you.
problem.
And I
I
love
love you
everybody. I
too.
love
All right.
everybody. Yes, ma'am.
And everybody have a good night. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you